Dr. Newton, you're a world-renowned researcher and exercise physiologist with a focus on exercise and prostate cancer. But in the early 90s, you worked with the NBA teams like Chicago Bulls, New Jersey Nets, and Miami Heat. However, your father's prostate cancer diagnosis in 1993 led you back to Australia and a new focus and determination to change how prostate cancer is treated. Tell us about that.
Oh, certainly, Gabe. So, yes, look, my early career, the first 20 years of my career was very much focused on high performance humans. And so that was in elite athletes and also, some work in various practical tasks as well. And it was in that time that my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He had his prostate cancer removed, so he had a prostatectomy and then radiation therapy following that. And he came out from that quite debilitated. He was very frail. He wasn't terribly old, I guess. Probably he was 72 at the time. And that really knocked him around, the operation and the radiation therapy. And he was urinary incontinent, so he didn't want to go out anywhere. It really closed down. He was quite a social person before that. And it really closed down his social circle. He didn't want to leave the house. He certainly didn't want to go out for anything, social events or anything. And he had this overwhelming fatigue, which is quite common with radiation therapy, chemotherapy. And he was told to rest. He reported this back to his doctor, and they said that your cancer is essentially cured, and you just need to recover from the treatments. And so he adopted the rest strategy, which was the standard of care 27, 30 years ago. And he got weaker and smaller, and you could see him getting more frail. And, as an exercise sport scientist, I said, this can't be right. And I said, come on, Dad, you need to do some exercise. Let's go for a walk, or ideally, would you do some weights? I'll take you through some weightlifting. Just doing some, just with dumbbells or body weight, and what I do with an athlete, not with the same intensity, of course, but just getting him to do some form of physical activity, exercise, to try and counteract what was occurring, this metabolic situation in his body where his muscles were shrinking, he was getting weaker, and he was losing body weight. But no, he said, no, my doctor said I had to rest. And to be fair, Gabe, at the time, that was the recommendation. It was thought that you needed to rest to overcome the cancer, the disease, and its treatments. And it was also, in some quarters, thought that exercise might actually exacerbate the cancer, that it might cause the cancer to proliferate, to metastasize to other parts of the body. And this was the thinking at the time. Anyhow, he lost condition, and he developed other conditions. He developed cardiovascular disease. And 2 years after his operation, he actually had quite a severe stroke. And that left him bedridden, and he was not ambulatory, he couldn't walk, and it was a downward spiral from then. And a few months later, he passed away. Now, I'm not blaming the clinicians at the time. I mean, that was the recommendation. The thought was that cancer patients should rest, but the human body does not tolerate rest. It does not tolerate being sedentary very well at all. And we get a whole range of other disease processes that really start to accelerate unless you remain physically active. And also, someone going through a cancer experience, they really have to increase their resilience. They have to become fitter and stronger. And in particular, they need to build up their muscles, or at least maintain their muscle mass to keep them healthy. And I honestly believe that if they would have left him alone and he had not had an operation, he may have only lived 2 years with his prostate cancer, but he would have had some quality of life. The last 2 years of his life, he had zero quality of life. So in many ways, it would have been best if he would have declined the treatment for his prostate cancer. But that motivated me to find out, is it safe for people with cancer to exercise? What is the right exercise? How much should we do? And that's led to the next 21 years now of my research and clinical career.